Okay, before I start with the question here, there's actually someone who pre-asked a question because she couldn't make this session lah. So she actually messaged me on Patreon. So her question is that I have a few counters that I bought before subscribing to you, such as SIA, iFast, NanoFilm. I got them at low. They have still been going up pretty well, so I don't know when to take profit. As I heard from other that as long as the stock isn't going down, we should hold until we have a need for the funds. Is this a correct thinking? Okay, so what this person is asking is that she managed to get some counter very low. Okay, let's open up an example for the counter that she's mentioned. Okay, let's open up iFast. iFast is what? AIY. Okay, let's open up iFast. So perhaps she's saying that, wait, why this chart so nice? Oh, okay. Okay, so let's just imagine that she managed to get an entry here. She managed to get an entry at $3. And then now the counter is going up, 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 and she feel that as long as she don't need the money that she put inside for iFast, she just continue to hold and that should be the correct approach to looking at TP level. But one thing we have to tackle with regards to this kind of question is that whether you are trading or you are sort of holding long term via fundamental analysis, because if you are trading by fundamental analysis, then you are looking at the business model, you are looking at the strength of the business, you are looking at the earnings. So in that regards, sometimes it is good to hold even if the counter drop like 10%, 20%, right? It is still a good counter to hold. So for example, iFast, you can see that even before this very, very big rally, right? iFast did not get the DG banking license, then it actually dropped like 30%. But its overall business structure is quite good. So it actually recovered very, very fast. So this one is in the realm of fundamental territory already. So with regards to that, I will honestly admit that I'm not a very strong fundamental person, and I cannot advise based on the fundamental perspective lah, because that's not my area of expertise. Um, what I am more better is trading via technical. So when we trade by technical, right, we don't really care what the nature of the underlying stock is. It can be a losing, it can be a counter company that is losing money, or it can be a company that we never heard before. We don't even know what they do. Most of the things that I trade, I don't even know what the company is doing lah. So until someone point out to me this company doing this and that, and then I'll be like, oh, okay. So from a technical point of view, um, assume that we don't know anything about the company. We are just trading based on supply and demand that we see from the chart, right? Um, you have to be concerned about a few things. Number one is, suppose if the price have gone up very high and it start to retrace, right? You need to sort of have a safe breakout, a safe stop. It's a safe stop zone in the sense that how far can you handle the retrace from the top until you will call it a day and you will run with your profit. Because let's say iFast drops here, and let me use this. So let's say iFast drop until this moment, you actually have no idea, is it going to go up or is it going to go down? So here, if you tell me that, oh, iFast business very good, it confirm go up, then you are coming from the fundamental perspective. I can't help you in that regards. But from a technical point of view, right, you do need to have a certain stock threshold that you need to set for yourself. And the moment that price reach that threshold, right, you will be out of the trade already. You don't really care what's going to happen after. You should be out of the trade. And the key thing about setting this threshold is slightly difficult also because for example, the personal strategy that I recommend to people is that when the counter hit the TP1, you TP 80%, the other 20% you hold. So now you have 80% profit in your pocket already. And the other 20%, even if it's go all the way back down, right? You are not really going to lose a lot because it's only 20%. So let's say you imagine a scenario, right? You imagine a scenario, you entered, let's say here, you entered here, and then you TP here. But when you TP here, right, you TP 50%. Okay, you TP for 50%. So now when the price come back down here, right, because you are holding that the other 50% and the price come back down here, your profit have already disappeared by half. Meaning overall you are now only having 25% of your so-called, like you have you only have you only retain 50% of your profit lah. If let's say this one continue to go down, right, you will kind of like break even. So in this situation you could have TP everything and you are better off lah. So that's what I'm trying to say. So that's the reason why I recommend a 80-20, because at least when it goes all the way back down to your entry point, right, you still retain majority of your profit, and you are not, you do not give away all your profit lah. And because let's say your entry is here, your TP point is here, right? If you TP 50% of your holding, your threshold is your break-even threshold, your so-called break-even threshold, right, is somewhere around like sorry, let me see. my maths a bit off. So if you TP 80% here, yeah, so your break-even threshold is like somewhere around here. But if you have a 20%, if you TP only 80%, if you TP 80% and you leave 20% behind, right, you can sort of let the counter go down more, because now you don't need to carry about a bigger retrace because you only have 20% lah. So you have this particular thing that is causing that is going to affect your strategy also. And of course the other one is you need to care, you also need to monitor how far are you willing to let the counter drop back. So these are two factors. Number one factor is how much you TP here, or are you leaving anything behind, or are you going to TP fully? And number two, should you leave something behind, how far are you willing to let it retrace? Suppose if you do not TP at all and the whole thing come back down, then you are going to be sort of giving away all your profit lah. You have nothing in your pocket already, and if this whole thing go down all the way back to, let's say, your entry, right, then you definitely sort of a profitable trade become a break-even trade lah. And worse yet, if it go down further, right, now what could have been profit become a loss now already. So these are the things that you need to consider. So the mentality is correct. For her initial question, she's asking whether that mindset is correct or not, where if she doesn't need the fund, right, she don't need to go and exit the position. So that was her original question. That thinking is correct if the fundamental is strong. If you are trading based on technical, right, that is the wrong approach to go about it, because you can actually give away majority of your profit. And if we look at one example from one of the trade setup that I given, Fortress Mineral. So if we look at Fortress Mineral, right, let's open up that trade setup. OAJ. No, not this one. Not April also. Okay, this should be the latest one. Let's look at this. So you can see this is the latest trade setup on Fortress Mineral, which came out on 6th of May. So you can actually see that after we TP here, right, price start to come back down. And until now, we haven't break above here yet. So we are actually sort of made the correct decision that we TP here, be it 80% or you TP your whole position, right, you are still better off than say you leave a bit behind, because now price is below already. So this is the risk that you will run into if you decide to hold. And and the question about whether how much you should TP, how much you should hold, and how far are you willing to, how far can you allow the price to go back down, right? These are the two major criteria that you need to account for if you are trying to ride the trend. And unfortunately, in Patreon, in this kind of situation, we do have a strict guideline on how to go about it, but as I mentioned, our TP strategy is mainly for course member. So these two variable, I cannot disclose it to the Patreon folks, unfortunately, because those who come for the course paid $3,000, and riding the trend and having a proper TP strategy is, of course, is for them. Okay, let's oh my god, there's a lot of questions. Let's go to Elvin Yo. Been following you since Feb, following your lot sizing advice, respect SLTP all the way, but for some reason I'm still on the losing end. My win loss is at 40-60. Okay, so for your question, right? For your question, I can't really comment much until I really look at your trade, look at your trade journal, the trade that you are taking, and your overall portfolio sizing, all this, right? Until I can do that, I can't really diagnose your situation. So let me ask you a few very simple questions, and from there I see what I can do. So number one, how many open position do you have right now? And number two, how many total trade have you taken from February until now? How many close trade? So how many close trade have you taken, and what is your current number of open position? So while you are doing that, right, let me go to the next person from IP. Pardon me, just joined your group last week, saw your US 7 July scanner, couldn't find SLTP entry. Okay, so this one, I'm not sure if you are on Patreon or if you kind of like did not explore the Patreon itself, but let me just guide you through. One thing you have to take note is that scanner is just a scanner. It is not everything that shows up on the scanner is tradable. Meaning, if there are 10 counters showing up on the scanner, you are not going to find stop loss TP level for all the 10 counters, because it doesn't mean that all of them can be traded. So the thing is, the scanner is for people who are independent to look at the chart themselves and they see whether they can trade or not. But on the other hand, I personally will also look at the scanner to ensure that, to see which are the possible counter that I can trade. And if I spot certain counters that is tradable, I will post a trade setup with the TP level, the stop loss level, and the entry level. So actually today I've already posted 3 trade setup on Singapore counter. So since you are looking at US, right, there's hardly any US counter that I posted this week, meaning there's nothing on US to trade according to our strategy Meaning we won't be trading any US counter for this particular week. So if you are very US focused, right, be aware that yes, we do have US trade setup every now and then, but most of the time we lean towards Singapore counter. And if you have already seen the Singapore counter trade setup and you are wondering how come US don't have, right, it's simply because the scanner, within the scanner, there isn't any much counter for US to trade So now is what time now? Is it going to 9:30 soon? Okay, it's still 9:25. So let me quickly show you the US counter. Okay, so these are probably the counter that you saw. Okay, so let's look at this one. The reason why I'm not going to trade this is because run up too high already. It's not tradable. It's too chong already. Yes, you can go in right now. You can go in right now here, and then what? Then where's your stop loss? There's no safe place to put your stop loss. So I will actually put my if I were to trade this, right, I will put my stop loss somewhere here. But the thing is, from here to here, right, is 45% down, meaning the closest place that I can put a stop loss, right, is too wide already. So this trade, I'm not taking it. But just because I don't take it, does it mean that today it will go down? No, actually it can go up, it can chong up. It's just that you cannot take this trade without risking too much of your account. So suppose you place your stop loss here, right, and then it come all the way back down, you are going to incur 45% loss. So this is, we always look at trade from the risk perspective. We don't look at something chong up and then we always go and chase. We chase certain stock if the risk is bearable. If the risk is not bearable, we let it go. This one, same thing. If I were to take this trade, I will probably want to put my stop loss here, because you can see that whenever something run up, it tend to retrace back down before it goes up. You can see somewhere here. You can see a similar situation here. It will retrace down. So you will always need to account for the retrace. Suppose so this one, since you join, right, this is something that I repeat often. There is no way we can tell how the stock will go up. So let's say I give you an entry here and I give you a TP here. Then if the stock like this, you will cut loss. You will probably cannot take it. You go and exit your trade. Then I will tell you that why you exit your trade. He hit the TP. I am correct. It still hit the TP. Why you go and exit your trade? So now the issue here is next time you will hold all the way. So next time if you hold all the way, right? What if this one go all the way down and then you lose your entire account? So then is it my fault? Then I can tell you, Alama dropped so much already. Why you never stop loss? So now the question here is, where is the stop loss? Where is the stop loss? Because if your TP is here, if your entry is here, the stop loss is important, because the stop loss ensure you will be in the trade. If I upfront tell you that the stop loss is here, right, and the trade go like this, right, and then you tell me you go and cut loss, right, then I will tell you that why you cut loss. Stop loss haven't hit yet. And if this one fall further down, I can also tell you, okay, this one stop loss, you should exit ready. So that's why I always post trade setup from the stop loss point of view. If I cannot place a stop loss, right, I'm not going to risk your money and my money to post a trade setup. Frontier, this one definitely like one look. This one I wouldn't trade that. This one, no. This one, of course, we are not going to trade this. Kraton, this one maybe if you want, you can go for it, maybe. But once again, the safest place that I can put my stop loss is here. But if you look at it, 17% down, maybe okay lah, maybe okay. But generally, I don't like this kind of very choppy chart, meaning the price doesn't go up in a very clean manner. It's sideways. Yeah, so that's why I'm not posting any US trade, because there's nothing safe to trade lah. Okay, so let me show you Patreon. If you log into your Patreon, you will see something like this. This is on desktop. Then you go to this on your top right. Go to post from my creator. Then you can see that here, Nimbus Capital. So if you only follow me, right, all the Nimbus Capital is here. So there's a trade setup posted today only. There's a trade setup posted today only. This is the scanner that was just released. So within the Singapore, there are 2 counters that I posted already, which I feel are good trades. Hong Kong, we are not looking at Hong Kong for now, because the index is quite weak. And of course, US, just now I went through already, right? None of the counter here are tradable. So it doesn't mean that you see all these here, right? I'm going to put up stop loss and TP and entry for every single one of them. That's like if I do that, I don't need to eat and sleep already. All the stop loss that you see here is I personally sit and look through one. It is not a system that is automatic doing it. If you have a system that automatic doing it, right, you are not going to get a trade setup at all. You are not going to get a very profitable trade at all. And also, please, you go and scroll down, right? There's this thing called navigating Patreon on mobile app. Please look at this. It teaches you how to navigate the Patreon website. Wait, okay, let's continue the question. No problem. Elvin, let's get back to Elvin Yo. Current 11 position, traded 25 position, close 14 position, 8 losses, 6 wins. Bro, from April until now, right? You have 14 position is not big enough. It's not big enough sample size a sample size. So you need to continue to trade. So let me show you my personal trade. This is my personal one, 60-40. I have 15 profit, 10 losses, meaning I've made 25 trades this year. And not only that, I currently still have about a lot of open. One open, 2 open, 3 open, 4 open, 5 open, 6 open, 7 open, 8 open, 9 open, 10 open, 11 open. So 25, 11, I have a total of 36 trades. So for your case, right, you have 25 trades. Your total is 25 trades. I have about 36. So that's actually a small number to sort of come to this kind of good ratio. Mainly because if you look at the total trade that we have so far, right, we have about 129 trade posted so far, and the close position of the trade is 54 trades and 17 trades. So that's actually like 71 close trade like that. So you think of it as flipping a coin. If I flip 10 coin, right, I'm not going to get exactly 5 head, 5 tails. Even if I flip 20 coin, if I flip the coin 20 times, right, I'm not going to get a 10 head, 10 tails. It will be skewed. So you probably need to flip 100 coins, but even then you wouldn't get a 50-50. You might get 55-45 like that. So yes, so that's the issue. So limited cash, when you have limited cash, right, that is the problem with limited cash. You cannot make so many trades at one go. So because you cannot make so many trades at one go, right, you tend to come to that conclusion that, hey, actually my trade system is wrong, cannot make it. How come I'm losing 6 trades and then I'm only profiting on 4? But actually, if you keep doing that slowly, you might at the end of the year get maybe 20 winning trades and maybe 16 losing trades, or somewhere along that kind of number. So that's the challenge and issue with smaller account size. It's like someone who is flipping a coin that is every 1 minute he flip one time, compared to another guy that is flipping every 1 second flip one time. So in a way, you are the guy that flipping 1 minute one time. So you are going at a much slower pace. That's the so-called challenge as a low account size. So there's you just need to be disciplined and keep to your keep to your trade plan, and eventually you'll be all right. So one thing I can tell you, you can see, okay, this one not really a good representative, mainly because I'm holding quite a few profitable trades from last year. But let me show you my portfolio from 2020. Actually, this return not very indicative. Not very indicative. Wait, let me show you a trade journal of my trainee from my first batch. Give me a moment. Why is it like that? Okay. Okay, so this is the trade journal of my trainee from the first batch. So he actually have a 62% winning rate, net profit 13K, So his period is from September until February. Okay, but what do you actually see here? When he first started, right, actually a lot of losses. When he first started, right, actually the winning rate is quite jialat. Only towards like a certain period towards the end of the year, right? Then he start to improve lah. So that's usually everyone's problem, be it small account, big account, because the moment you enter, right, that trade is going to get stuck a while, unless you are very, very lucky to enter that 15 trade that you enter all sui lucky chung up one, those kind, right? Most likely you are going to be stuck for a while lah, until as you take more and more trade, right, the number become closer to your so-called the theoretical number that you have lah. So you can see that his trade 57 winning, the 35 losing. So that's almost close to 100 trades already, and that is when the number become closer to what is the expected range lah. If you are less than 20 trade, right, is a little bit too hard to say lah. Okay, let's go to the next one from Kathleen Kwan. Based on 50K investment capital, I estimate to max 8 stock per month, but sometimes trade setup are fast and furious. Sometimes not. When will I know I am over trading? Okay, over trading wise, it's very, very simple. Firstly, you have to ask yourself how much risk you are taking for one position. If you, let's say you are taking 2% risk per position, meaning you have 50K account, 2% risk meaning how much is that? Sorry, can someone do a quick mental calculation? 1% of 50K is what? $500. Is it $500? So 2% is $1,000. Okay, yeah, 1,000. So let's say for example you risk $1,000 per trade on a 50K account. That's like too much. Is it too much? No lah, can lah, doable. 2% risk. So right now you say you are taking 8 stock per month, meaning if at one point you are holding 8 position maximum, right? Meaning you are risking 16%, meaning you are risking 16K. So 16% is all right. So the magic number that I can give you, right, is 20%. Never risk more than 20% at one go. Meaning if you take 2% risk, you can hold 10 position. If you take 1% risk, you can hold 20 position. Or if you take 5% risk, which no, please, no. But for example, you risk 5 position, you can only hold 4 position. Okay, so never risk more than 20% of your total capital. The reason why is because, let's say if you have, this is your capital, 0%, 100%. If your capital drop by 20%, now you are left with 80%, right? This 80% is actually big enough account size to regain back that 20% that you lost quite easily. But let's say you risk 50% of your portfolio, now your account is dropped by 50%. That 50 you want to make it back to your original, right? You actually need to double your you need to double your account. So if you never double your account before, right, then most likely you are never going to recover lah. So 20% is a magic number. So why do we come up with that risk? Is also we have to take the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is that, let's say you risk 2% per position, you have 10 trades. The worst case scenario is all your 10 trade hit stop loss. That's the worst case scenario. That meaning you are going to lose 20%. I hope I answer your question. Next one. Is the market from Vin? Is the market overheated right now? So okay, overheated, underheated, oversell, the risk on, risk off, all these I don't really care, because very simple. If my scanner gives me something to trade, I'm always going to be trading. So that's as simple as I can give you lah. But the thing is, the scanner itself is also a very good indicator of market health. If you keep consistently get a lot of counter with good trade setup, for example, today Boosted was very good. I uploaded a Boosted setup. Kimlee was also very good. I uploaded a Kimlee setup. So as long as every day, every week, right, you are getting some good setup coming in, the market is fine. You don't have to go and be like a expert forecast, predict here, predict there without the proper knowledge, without the proper statistic and data, right? We are not those people. Leave those to Bloomberg. We don't need to care so much. But as long as the scanner give us good counter, good result, I will be trading. But the thing is, if market start to U-turn, market start to show weakness, start to U-turn, right? What you will see is scanner no longer give you any counters. You will have 1 week where for that entire week, there's nothing showing up on the scanner. If we ever encounter that week, right, we will stop trading. So back last year, during this week, my scanner, okay, back then I haven't released my scanner to the public. My Patreon haven't started. Facebook also, I never shared the scanner yet, blah, blah, blah. But during this week, my scanner gave me 0 trades for the entire weeks. And that is when I noticed there's something wrong. There's something wrong with the market. How come the entire week I got nothing? So there was something a bit fishy already. So I stopped trading altogether. Then what I did was, I have a short scanner actually. Sorry. I do actually have a short scanner. Short scanner. But I will only look at the short scanner if my long scanner doesn't give me anything for 1 week. The 5 consecutive days I got no trades. Only then I will look at the short scanner. So back then I realized, how come for 5 consecutive days I get nothing? There must be something wrong with the market. Then I went to my short scanner, and the moment I look at my short scanner, I see SIA lah, Keppel lah, Singtel lah, all like popping up like Great Singapore Sale like that. So what I did was, during that time, I shorted SIA and Keppel lah. That's where actually I made about close to 50K on the short alone here lah. So that is when I will look at short scanner. So a lot of people asking, got short or not? As long as I'm seeing something here, right? I won't look at the short scanner. So my scanner is posted daily. If you see the scanner empty for 5 consecutive days, right? I think that is something you guys will immediately take note also. And when that happens, yes, I will look at the short scanner, and that is the time where we should avoid the market. Hey, please don't show hand. Please don't show hand. The key strategy is never to show hand here. Please do not show hand. That's my that's my request. Yes, thank you. Please follow the lot sizing strategy. Next from Zehan. Wow, we are already at 9:45. Never mind. I will try to answer everyone. From Zehan, if you share 2 trade setup the day before, 2 trade setup yesterday, another today, how shall we take? Which trade we are limited cash? Blah blah. Just saw the post. For example, how do we choose Bostik, Cleanly, Union Glass, Samudera Shipping, APAC, Propnex? Assuming we just saw your trade post. That's a very good question actually. So this is for folks with limited cash lah. Sorry, I forgot my Milo there. My Milo become ice Milo lah. Sorry, let me drink a bit. Okay, yeah. This is a very good question. So for those with limited capital, it's time for you. It's time to listen up also. Okay, number 1 thing that I will prioritize for you is 1, limited cash, right? You see Kimlee. Okay, I will ask you. We do this practice together. Okay, today I give you Kimlee and I give you Bostik. So let's say today you just see these 2. You are someone with limited cash. Which one will you choose? Which one will you choose? And give me the reason why. Jack say Kimlee. Anyone else want to try? Wow, Jack so smart. Yes, correct. Jack is correct. Vin is correct. Kimlee, because Kimlee is cheaper. It's only 40 cents. That's why between APAC and Propnex, right? If you have limited fund, go for APEC, because APEC is definitely cheaper and lighter. Yes, and lighter, because I can tell you straight, all my trade setup follow a fixed criteria, meaning between Kimley and Bostat, I do not think Kimley has a higher chance of going up or Bostat has a higher chance. In fact, they both have the higher chance. They both have equal chance according to my experience, according to my trade setup. It's like I give you a coin and you are choosing which coin to flip. In reality, they both have 50-50. I mean, theoretically speaking. So in this case, you choose the cheaper one. You choose the cheaper one. Secondly, correct. All right. been very smart. Secondly, not all stop loss are created equal. So some stop loss tend to be a bit wider. Some stop loss are slightly narrower. So choose the stop loss that is more narrower. So you can use this measure button. You see here, right? Measure, right? There's a ruler here. You go to your entry, click, measure down, click, then you see the number. This is 15%. This is what? This is Bostat. Then you go to Kimley. 70, okay, somewhere there, about the same, but of course, still go for Kimley lah. Kimley is cheaper lah. But suppose you encounter situation where both of the share price are somewhat equal. For example, Tuansin and APEC. So let's look at Tuansin, T24 and APEC. Okay, that was a bad example, but they are somewhat nearer lah. They are somewhat nearer. So you can actually choose the cheaper one lah. And secondly, of course, once again, between Propnex and APEC, right? You don't buy both of them because they are both property. Choose one and okay, choose one, then that's it. And yeah, so for example, right now, I will also go for Samudera Shipping because it's much cheaper. You spell. Oh my god, my spelling cannot make it. 40 cents is much. Okay, so I mentioned many times, if on an uptrend, you don't go and get scared off by this kind of candle. This kind of candle is like they hold no power. They hold no power one in an uptrend. If you look at Golden Energy, you see all this kind of bear candle. Eventually they get covered up. So stick to your trade plan. Okay. I hope I answer your question. For Zehan. How many question more? Actually, there's quite a lot. Next one, from Jack. Comment on Bostat. If you are left over from Bostat, if exit fully already means don't take. Yes, correct. I will yes, that's what I mean. If you have left over from Bostat, then you can take Bostat because it will make you have less thing to manage. So for example, let's say previously you leave some leftover from Bostat and now you take Kimley. Then now on your trading account, you need to handle Kimley and Bostat. You have additional counter to monitor. But if you just take whatever leftover that you already have, right, it's less management on your part lah. Considering that both are sort of like equal chance lah. From Ash, going by the SLTP theory in a hardcore manner, we have trade stuck since February, like NWS holding Yoma. Is there average time frame to stay in the trade? Okay, this is actually a good question also. And in order to sort of answer your question, I too have counter stuck from January. Johnson Electric, 9天, Swire, Anhui, Netflix, and luckily PayPal become profitable already. So you can actually see here, Anhui still stuck, Zhoutian Chemical still start, Johnson Electric. So I'm still holding them. But as I mentioned in my Sunday's webinar, right? The past Sunday webinar, right? When you look at my account currently now is at 177K. And look at the cost of the counter that I'm stuck. PayPal is 18K, 19K lah. And where are the others? Johnson Electric is 10K. Zhoutian is 9K, Tesla 9K, Swire Pacific 9K. So if you look at the cost value of most of my position, right, they are somewhere around 9K, 10K, 12K. So I never, what you notice, they never exceeded 20K. So most of them are around like the lowest is 9K, the highest is probably around 17K like that. So you see this 3K, you don't care, those are my leftovers. So if you consider those 10K, 15K as a percentage of my total portfolio value, they probably account for like maybe 10%, 8%, 9% around there. And because that's because I follow my lot sizing strategy. So if you follow that lot sizing strategy, most of the time, those that are stuck, right, they should not take up your entire portfolio. They probably will take up maybe 30 to 40% of your portfolio. But I normally, personally for me, I just let it sit there. Eventually, they were TP lah. So the key thing is, if never hit the stop loss, right, meaning the counter is still strong lah. If not, it will go down, hit stop loss. So I just let it stay there lah. But the reason why most people will like think of exiting is because perhaps they feel that the money is not properly utilized, or the money is there is opportunity cost loss because the money is stuck there. But you need to be aware that you have to sort of certain percentage of your trade, right? It has to account for scenario like this where your counter can get stuck. But as long as that percentage is somewhere around 30%, right, it is still quite okay. What you do not want is you do not want to enter big position into one or two counter. Let's say instead of like entering 8% of your capital into PayPal, you now have 60% of your capital in PayPal, and the PayPal is currently gonna stuck. So now you have majority of your portfolio being stuck, right? Then of course that is a lot of opportunity cost that is being lost. But personally for me, 30% is a tolerable threshold for being stuck. So as long as they do not hit the stop loss, I just let it sit there. So you have to ask yourself, if you want to exit, is it because your position is your position is too big, and whether or not you follow the lot sizing strategy properly. So you can think of it like this: if you exit a position and then you enter a new position, right, the probability, you are now betting on two scenarios. You are now betting on scenario one: whatever counter that you are stuck is never going to recover and is going to hit the stop loss. So that is one thing you are betting on. Then the second thing that you are betting on is also that whatever counter that you enter new, right, whatever new position that you enter after exiting, that counter needs to hit TP before your original counter hit TP. So if you think of it from that perspective, right, that's a big bet to take. It's quite I would say it's not a highly likely scenario considering that every trade has the equal chance, right? You are now betting two things at once, and in order for that two things to go in your direction, right, is from a pure probability standpoint, it's not worth it If you just stay in the trade, you only need to bet on one thing, that the counter will eventually go up and hit the TP So you're only betting on one thing. But if you exit to enter a new thing, right, you're now betting on two things. So I'm looking at it from a pure mathematical standpoint, and that's basically how I approach my trading strategy from a statistical standpoint. And personally, I believe that as long as my stop loss is not hit and I don't have big portion of my account stuck, I don't have such a big portion of my account stuck, right, that 30% that I mentioned is a tolerable amount. But you can definitely come up with a number for yourself. this is what I can recommend you, but I do not have the data. I cannot advise you any further. For example, currently you can see that the medium holding time is about 19 to 28 days. And in fact, if you look at it, right, any counters that is after 100 days tend to hit with a loss. Actually, only one counter that is above 100, 140 days, 60. Actually, a lot have most counter haven't reached that level yet. So what I can probably recommend you is you can give yourself 3 months, but after that 3 months, right, if that thing is not moving, right, still stuck, haven't hit TP, haven't hit SL, you can exit lah. But just because I say you can exit, it doesn't mean that that's the best choice, because now, as I mentioned, by exiting and entering something new, you are making 2 bets, whereas staying in the position, you are only making 1 bet. And secondly, right, if the counter does eventually hit TP, right, then you are going to miss what could have been a profitable trade had you stayed lah. I can give you a very simple scenario. 1F, Full Empire. If you have been on my Facebook since sometime last year, you might have remember a Full Empire trade here. I actually put out a trade setup here, because if you look at the chart like this, right, very good breakout trade. So we were looking for an immediate breakout like this. But what happened? We were stuck for like 5-6 months like that. Then eventually after, you see from August, December, then eventually it start to goes up sometime sometime at the beginning of 2021 lah. And in fact, it's a very big rally. So as long as stop loss not hit, right, it's a valid counter. But I can't promise you that any counter that you are stuck, it will run out like this. But the thing is, as long as stop loss is not valid, as long as the stop loss is not hit, the counter is valid. Kimley also. So for those who doesn't remember Kimley also, Kimley not as jialat as Full Empire, but Kimley trade setup came out here. But you can see that it doesn't goes up very nice. It like that, then like that, then a lot of people feel they are stuck. In fact, from here until here, right, the movement is very slow and pathetic. Although eventually move up, but it's very pathetic. It was only here that now start to run up. So if you were impatient and you go and exit somewhere along here, right, now you don't reap the reward already lah. Because we don't really know the counter will go up like this, or like this. The only thing that we can do on our part is set a good stop loss, and whichever happen, we will get the trade. I hope I answer your question. A bit long-winded. Jack, you need to blah blah blah. If you need to take into account fact was quite jialat. Yes, correct. Jack, you are right to say. I can prove that here. You can see a lot of January counter profit, but somewhere around February, right? When you started February, right? You look at end Jan, February, it was quite a bad period. We personally incur a lot of losses here. But let's say if you have small capital and you incur here, right? Then April we are doing better. Then somewhere around end April we have string of losses again. Then from May, June, July we are doing quite okay lah. So we have our up and down also. The key thing is during the up you maximize your profit. During the down you cut your loss. Anyone else? Vin got 18 open trade. Is it over traded in my case? Vin, I need to ask you how much risk are you taking per position? If you are taking 2% risk, right? 18 is a bit too much. 18 means you are holding 36% risk in total. Blah blah blah. Okay. Wait, Tanya, why did you enter to both APAC and Promet? Okay, I did not enter both APAC and Propnex. I only enter Propnex. I did not enter APAC. But I show both APEC and Propnex mainly because I need to account for you guys. You guys are my general audience. I need to account for those who managed to get Propnex, those who did not get Propnex, those who have enough cash to buy a $1.70 counter, those who can only afford a 30-cent counter, 40-cent counter. Suppose if I only post trades that I enter, right? Suppose if I only post trade that I enter, meaning for the entire June and May, right, you won't see any trade setup already because I run out of capital. so you need to understand from my perspective that even if I run out of trade setup, even if I run out of capital, but there are good trade setup, I will still post. And I also need to account for different kinds of people from my audience. Some has 10K account, some have 100K account. I got one guy with 500K account. He come and ask me, hey bro, I give you the account you trade for me. I told him, sorry sir, no, that one illegal, I cannot. So yes, I will post a lot of things based on my audience. Of course, you guys need to DYODD. So you need to please don't go and blindly enter everything. don't. It's like it doesn't mean you pay $20 here, you just blindly do everything, then you will become millionaire already. It's $20, so you still need a lot of effort on your part. So that's I'm just here as a guidance, give you the right direction, the right stock, or if you have your own trading style, you don't need to follow my trade setup. You can look at the scanner yourself. There are a lot of traders in my Patreon that are taking trade from the scanner by themselves. They are not really following my trade setup. They are doing quite well also. From Celia Chong. Since you mentioned Samudera, which I have, Celia Chong, sorry if I mispronounce your name. Let me look at Samudera. Okay, so oh my god, I draw until cannot make it. Sorry. So my question to you is, you enter here, there's a stop loss here. What is the risk that you take? So if you enter some more, you are going to take another risk. So generally, I will advise on the same counter, right, do not take more than 3% risk. Meaning if you have a 10K account, if this counter hit the stop loss, you should not lose more than $300. So that's my magic number advice for you, 3% risk maximum. I personally take 1.5%. So if let's say you only took 1% here, you enter here, your risk is 1%, meaning if you have a 10K account, if this one hit here, you only lose $100, then you can actually go and add some more. But if you add some more, right, you need to adhere to the same stop loss and make sure that if both hit the stop loss, you don't lose more than the $300 or 3%. GG, maybe Yoma also same, Myanmar, blah, blah, blah. Did you tick wrongly for your position? Sorry, let me check. I have Propnex. Oh, sorry. My bad. Thank you for pointing it out. I meant to tick Tuan Sin, not APEC. Sorry. My bad. Kathleen, US day trading content is sometime this year. Your access has expired. Why? I'm the owner. Sorry. For Kathleen, US day trading content. Yes, US day trading content will be out sometime this year. It will be supported on the new website. Currently, I'm not looking to add additional stuff onto Patreon already, because sometime in September like that, I'll be moving everything over. So I don't want people keep I don't want adding more stuff onto Patreon, and then a lot of people start to subscribe. Then after 2-3 months later, they have to move over again. Yeah, I guess that's the end of the questions, and we just nice hit 10 p.m. So thank you guys for coming, and I will try to hold this kind of ask me anything session once a month, but the date tend to be a bit here and there lah. I don't really have a fixed date lah, but you will sort of get one so-called like advice, not advice lah, what's that word lah? I think my English getting back to worse. I will let you know about 1 week in advance lah. But anyway, if you cannot make it, you can comment on the Patreon post whatever burning question you want to ask, and then I will answer it here, and then you can look at the recording now. Okay, so thanks everyone for coming, and have a good night.